good morning or good afternoon, or I don't know really what time it is at your place. But I do know this video will be more than 5 minutes because my text that I wrote is like 3 minutes. So I have to hurry. Hurry. So I'm supposed to make my rider of the day. I have chosen J.K. Rowling, and we all know she's awesome. This is the Swedish cover of Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. This is the most beautiful I have ever seen by Alvaro Tapia. No one can beat him. It's beautiful. I challenge you to write a 10-sentence long story about a rainy day. And here's the one. 438. It's Sarah, isn't it? The casket was a beautiful one, white with silver details. The flower that slithered its way over the lid didn't look like it was made by human hand. It reflected the poor light from the candles onto the walls and shone like a lake of silver. He looked at her face as she lay there silent and cold. His eyes flickered over her eyes, her mouth, her chin. Everything so perfect, like she was carved from ebony. Her maker must have loved her for her beauty. He only left her side once that day. He opened the door to the mausoleum, only to see the sun setting in the west. She had been gone for 8 hours, and he missed her like the night would miss the stars. Though he knew no tears could bring her soul back from the place it now dwelled, he wished for it with all his heart. He cared about no God. He prayed to anyone that would listen, anything that would. His pleadings echoed like he was trapped at the bottom of a well, and he felt like he was surrounded by water, treacherous deep black water that would swallow him if he for 1 second stopped praying. A coyote howled somewhere in the mountains, and he could hear the dog's song so clear it was almost like it was singing it in his ears. The earth shook underneath his feet, and he stumbled backwards. The dust gathered for centuries fell from the ceiling like rain. He fell to the floor and crawled up against the wall, fearing that he would be buried under the masses of stone. But suddenly, the earth was still. A whisper came from the middle of the room. He stood up, stumbling on his own legs, and gazed around in the dim light. His heart was beating wildly in his chest. He heard the whisper once again, louder. What he saw made his legs shiver to no end. She rose from the coffin like she woke from sleep, her eyes attached to his face the whole time. Smiling sadly, she called his name. He moved towards her with trembling hands, wishing that it wasn't a dream, but at the same time hoping that it was. Her face looked so real, as beautiful as ever. She took his hand in her own and pressed it against her fluttering heart. He started to cry when he felt her skin against his. She was real. Slowly she leaned towards him, like it was a forbidden thing. Her lips were slightly parted, and her breath fast and unsteady. He still smiled, but when he saw her eyes, the smile vanished immediately. The lips met, and he trembled like an aspen leaf. When the lips parted, his body fell to the floor, lifeless. She smiled sweetly into the dark, licking his life off her lips. She crawled out of the coffin and stepped over her husband's body towards the door. No soul inhabited that body anymore.